Candidates in Indiana's gubernatorial race will hit the debate stage tonight. Current Indiana Senator Republican Mike Braun is facing educator and former Republican superintendent turned Democrat Jennifer McCormick. They're looking to fill the seat currently held by Eric Holcomb. That race is highly contested and very much watched nationally. The Democrat has held the governorship in Indiana, or no Democrat rather has held that seat in the past 20 years since Joe Kernan was voted out of office in 2005. Now you can watch that debate live on WHAS Plus tonight at 7 o'clock. You can also watch it on our YouTube channel.
We are just about 2 weeks away from the November election, and a key figure in the presidential race stopped in Louisville. Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz met with Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg for a private fundraiser yesterday. They were also joined there at the airport by Congressman Morgan McGarvey and Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman. We'll spend about 20 minutes talking to donors who have pledged $2 million to the Harris Victory Fund before heading back to campaign in some key swing states. Kentucky has rarely been seen as a pivotal state in the presidential race, considering we only have 8 electoral votes. So some are wondering if Walz's visit will affect the race here. We spoke with the chair of the Louisville Democratic Party, Logan Gotti, and the vice chair of the Jefferson County Republican Party, Charlie Bell, to see if they thought Walz's appearance could impact voter turnout.
No, not particularly in this state, but representation counts on all sides.
Tim Walz is a very charismatic individual, so anywhere he goes, he brings enthusiasm, and I love that about him.
Walz's visit comes as both presidential campaigns are pushing voters to get out and vote early. Today, presidential candidate Vice President Kamala Harris is back on the campaign trail, holding a rally in Atlanta, where former President Barack Obama will campaign alongside her for the first time. Former President Donald Trump will be headed to Arizona and Nevada for rallies. And today, abortion rights advocate and Owensboro native Hadley Duvall will host a meet and greet for the Harris-Walz campaign. The 22-year-old will be joined by officials from the Kentucky Democratic Party in Henderson for the event. Duvall was recently named in Glamour magazine's Women of the Year edition after being in the spotlight at the DNC, sharing her story of being a rape survivor and having a miscarriage at the age of 12. Election day could be a record breaker in Kentucky for turnout at the polls. That's according to Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams. Adams says more than 130,000 people requested an absentee ballot. 51% were requested by registered Democrats and 40% by Republicans. Based on those requests, Adams is predicting what he calls massive overall turnout. He's encouraging people to vote early when no excuse in-person voting starts October 31st. We've got all of the details about early voting times and locations in our election guide. You can find it under the GMK tab on our homepage. The jury will hear more testimony today in the federal retrial of Brett Hankison. Hankison is a former LMPD detective accused of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights the night she was killed in a police raid 4 years ago. That jury was taken to see Taylor's apartment yesterday. It marked the 3rd time a jury has visited Taylor's apartment to better understand testimony and avoid confusion when deliberating a verdict later in the trial. Yesterday's trip was kept quiet to protect the jurors. For some legal perspective, we turn to U of L law professor Sam Markison just to find out about the importance of that trip.
They can all now have in their mind's eye a sense of this door was here, the other apartment was there, and how they relate to each other. And then when they start talking, they have a common experience of having visited the site.
One of Taylor's neighbors at the time of the raid, Cody Etherton, was on the witness stand yesterday. Now, he also testified in Hankison's 2 other trials. He described hearing a boom that night and then feeling the vibration in his apartment as bullets flew through the walls. Federal prosecutors said they hope to wrap up their witnesses by today. A judge will soon decide how long a Bullitt County mother will spend behind bars after she pleaded guilty to killing her 2 young children. Tiffany Lucas appeared in court yesterday admitting to shooting and killing her 6- and 9-year-old sons last November. Attorneys for Lucas originally planned on using an insanity defense but reversed course. A family member tells us they want to see Lucas in prison for life.
She should have to stay in prison. Give them some form of justice. This isn't right.
She's a monster. She can play this shy role all she wants to in court. You're a monster. You were a monster to them at the end of the day. That's what you became to them.
Since Lucas made her plea without having a deal on the table, the judge will decide how long she'll serve in prison when Lucas returns to court at the end of November. Prosecutors could recommend a sentence from 20 years to life in prison.
3, 2, 1, toss.
A new industrial park hoping to attract new companies to southern Indiana just broke ground in Clark County. Platform Park will reimagine a vacant plot of land in Clarksville. The Platform Group is made up of professionals from several companies, including Thornton's Capital and Denton Floyd Real Estate Group. The project will be 1 million square feet of leasable space. That's enough for 5 Class A industrial buildings. Now, that's not language that we use every day, so just so you know, a Class A industrial building, those are said to be the prestigious buildings of significant size.
It will be a premier addition to southern Indiana's industrial landscape and will not only enhance the region's infrastructure, but also contribute to the continued job growth that's already underway here in Clarksville.
Now, this comes as southern Indiana is already seeing a boost recently with major companies like Meta opening facilities in the River Ridge complex.